Hey everyone, it's been a while, almost 2 years actually. I've been wanting to sit down and record this video for a long time, but it took me a while to build the courage and figure out what to say. So here I am, coming to you after what was honestly the darkest and the hardest phase of my life. I want to share some of that with you today, not because I have all the answers or because I have completely healed, but because there are lessons you can only learn when you have really been broken down. And in this video, I want to share those lessons with you. See, nearly 2 years ago, my life as I knew it completely fell apart. Everything I thought was stable, the person I needed the most, everything I had worked for vanished just like that. It was like watching a building crumble in slow motion, and I was standing right underneath it, powerless to stop it, feeling helpless to do anything about it. And the worst part, I lost not just things or people, I lost a sense of me. I can't count the nights I spent awake, feeling completely alone, fighting back the urge to cry or failing to. I tried everything to get back on my feet. I wrote, I read, I meditated, I reached out to people. I tried filling every hour of my day just so I wouldn't have time to think about what has happened to me. But every time the pain would just pull me back under. And for a while, I didn't think I would ever be able to get back up. But here's the thing, pain, it has this way of teaching you things that nothing else can. And while I can't say that I'm fully out of the dark or that I have somehow erased the scars from that time, there are 15 lessons that I now hold very close to me. Lessons that you really only learn when you have been completely shattered and scattered, and you have to rebuild yourself piece by piece. And I want to share those lessons with you today in this video. Lesson 1, resilience isn't about strength. When you are in your darkest place, resilience isn't about pushing forward like some hero. It's about surviving, getting up barely, and that's enough. Don't measure your resilience by how strong you appear. Measure it by your willingness to keep breathing, even when it feels impossible. Lesson 2, the reality of people around you. Loss shows you who's there when it matters the most and who's not. The people who stood by me, they are the one who asked nothing of me, who didn't need me to be cheerful or to be productive. And the ones who left, they taught me that presence, real presence, it's a rare gift and I need to treasure that. Lesson 3, self worth beyond productivity. I used to define myself by what I achieved, by always being busy. But during this time, I learned something about value. My value wasn't tied to my ability to perform or succeed in anyone's eyes. Sometimes just existing is enough, even if you feel broken. Lesson 4, letting go of control. Trying to fix everything only made me feel more helpless. It's a strange comfort knowing that sometimes we really are powerless. Surrendering to that truth, it didn't make things easier for me, but it did make things clearer. Lesson 5, pain as a compass. Pain forces you to confront what you have been ignoring. I had spent months ignoring certain realities, glossing over issues I wasn't ready to face. Pain, it uncovers the truth, even if we are not ready for it. Sometimes that's exactly what we need. Lesson 6, acceptance doesn't mean approval. There's a difference between accepting something and approving of it. Accepting what happened doesn't mean you have to like it or that you are okay with it. It just means you decided to stop fighting the reality. Once I could sit with what happened to me without any resistance, it was like a weight I didn't even know I was carrying began to lift. Acceptance for me was the beginning of peace. Lesson 7, it's okay to not be okay. We live in a world where there's so much pressure to move on and get over it. But pain doesn't follow anyone else's timeline. It's okay to be where you are. I spent a lot of time feeling like I wasn't doing grief right, like I should have bounced back faster. But it's okay to be broken. It's okay to just be without needing to be okay. Lesson 8: Small victories matter. There were days where getting out of bed was a victory, eating a meal, going outside for a walk. They felt small and insignificant, but they weren't. Each one was a step, a tiny act of defiance against the darkness, against the pain. Those little victories, they add up. They are the stepping stones that lead you eventually towards something better, towards the light. Lesson 9: Self compassion over self judgment. I was my own worst critic. In the beginning, I blamed myself for everything that had gone wrong. But eventually, I learned to be kind to myself, to give myself the grace I would offer a friend. Self compassion doesn't mean making excuses, it means acknowledging that you are human, that you are trying your best, and that's enough. That shift, it was a game changer for me. Lesson 10: Healing isn't linear. We want healing to be this neat, straightforward journey. We want progress to be visible, to be measurable. But it's anything but that. Some days you will feel lighter, more hopeful, and then a memory, a feeling can drag you back down, and that's normal. I learned that healing is more like a spiral. You come back to things, revisit them, but each time you are a bit further along than before. Lesson 11: Life moves through seasons. One of the hardest lessons to learn was that life doesn't always stay in one place. Just like the seasons, there's a natural ebb and flow to everything: joy and pain, success and failure, hope and despair. During my darkest phase, it felt like winter would never end, but seasons change, even if it feels like they won't. I found peace in that, knowing that no feeling, no seasons last forever. Lesson 12: Growth happens in the dark. We often think growth looks like achievement or hitting a goal, but true growth happens in quiet moments when nobody is watching. It's in the struggle, the solitude, the times we are forced to face ourselves. The dark doesn't mean nothing is happening. Sometimes it's the soil where the seeds of who we are becoming are planted. Lesson 13: Solitude as a teacher. There's a difference between loneliness and solitude. When everything fell apart, I was alone a lot and I hated it. But over a time, I started to see solitude as a place where I could actually listen to myself. It's in the quiet moments that you begin to understand who you really are beyond other people's expectation, judgments. Solitude became less of a punishment and more of a teacher. Lesson 14: Your story has power. When you are at rock bottom, it's hard to believe your experience matter. But what I learned is that sharing your story, the raw, the unfiltered version, can be powerful, not just for you, but for others who may be going through the same thing. There's something healing about putting words to what you have been through and watching it resonate with others. Your story, as painful as it may be, could be someone else's lifeline. So here we are. I wish I could say this experience has a happy ending, that I found a magical fix or woke up one day feeling healed. I didn't, but I'm still here. And if there's one thing I know now, it's that survival alone can be its own kind of victory. These lessons are not things I have mastered. They are reminder that I carry, that you might carry too if you have ever faced a dark place. So if any of this resonates, if you have felt alone, broken, like you are in a constant fight against yourself, know that you are not alone. We are all just trying to crawl our way back towards the light. If you have been through something like this, Or if you are in it right now, share it in the comments. You don't have to tell your whole story. Just let me know you are here. And if this video brought you a moment of clarity or even just a bit of peace, hit that like button and consider subscribing. I'm here to share more of this journey and create more videos. I would love for you to be here with me. Thank you for watching.